Hello, my name is Liza, and today I'd like to share with you how I created my miniature spell book that fit on a tier tray. I originally made one of these a few years ago when the pocket letter fad was in season, and I thought I'd make one for myself now. What you'll need from Dollar Tree are one of these little composition books. They come 3 a pack, and I think they're 3¼ by 5½ inches. A printable that I will put the link to where I found it, and I just printed it out on some vanilla colored cardstock. And in hindsight, I wish I would have printed it just a little bit bigger, but what I did was I just tore the page instead of cutting it across because I wanted it to have that raveled look. So here you can see I cut out all my pieces. I'm actually making two, one for my daughter and one for myself. But you're going to see all those like vanilla edges. So I just took some black ink and a sponge, and I just scuffed up the edges so they no longer were so stark light in color. Then I took some black paint. I actually used the Dollar Tree chalkboard paint, and I started to paint the back and the front of the book, but in hindsight, I ended up only using the edges because of course I'm going to cover it with the book cover. So I just did a nice thick coat along the edges of the back and the front. Then I thought I'd try to tea stain my pages, so I boiled some water and I let my tea bag steep, and when it was a little cooled down, I put it in a Dollar Tree spray bottle, and then I went to town and I saturated my pages one at a time. And then when my paint, everything was dry, I used some Mod Podge and I added the front cover. And then I added some Mod Podge to the back and I put the back cover on. And then once it was all covered, then I put the spine on. And if you're going to lay this sideways, just make sure you put your spine so that it is not going to be upside down when you put the book down. Lay the book down. So then I added some black paint to the edges of the pages also. And then I went online and I just Googled spell book pages, and I came up with several different cantations, I guess you'll call them. And I printed them on just regular computer paper. And then I cut them out with scissors and used a corner rounders because, of course, the composition book is rounded corners. And I Mod Podged only in certain sections. So I did like the front and back cover and inside the first 2 pages and the last 2 pages, the center 2 pages. And because some of them were a little shorter than the actual page because I didn't measure correctly, I did use some brown ink and a sponge, and I scuffed up the pages because the tea stain didn't work as well as I had hoped it would. But it did make the pages nice and like, you know, what paper looks like when it dries. And then this is the center of the book, and then I took 2 more. I put it between the center and the front, and then 2 more between the center and the back. And then where the 2 page, then I just used some Mod Podge and I glued the edges of the pages together so that when you open the book, the only thing that's going to show are the pages that you put the spell book cantations in. Is that even the right word? I'm not a witch, so I don't really know. Then I had a bag of small miniature skeleton keys, and I put a piece of ribbon on the inside because you need a page marker, right, when you keep your book open. And I tied it up with some twine, added the key, and my spell book was complete. The paint and the Mod Podge, I did Mod Podge the front cover. I did tell you that, right? Yeah. It really gives it like a leather feel. It's really cool. And here it is in my little jeweled skeleton hand that I made in a previous video. So you can see the size. I hope you enjoyed my project. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and as always, if you aren't already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Quarantino and I will be back again with another project. Thanks for watching. Take care.